I've been alive a long time, and when it comes to eating, I've spent that time wisely and well. So it's not often I come across something that tastes so different to anything I've eaten before. This is a stir fry, comforting and familiar, warm with ginger and hot with garlic. When I first ate this, it was cooked by a chef called Tum, spelt or rather transliterated, T-U-M, very gratifying. And he used Chinese celery, which is really mostly thin stalk and a lot of leaf. So what I do is I use what I think of as the shoots from a leafy stick of celery, which I chop, none too fastidiously, you'd be shocked to hear. And what the celery gives is an anise flavour, but with herbal freshness. Now comes the same, but bringing base, star anise. And as if to amplify the star anise, some cinnamon, crumbled in shards. I'm making a base for the prawns to cook in. So on top of those spices, some dark soy sauce, steady with this. And on top of that, some light soy sauce, or thin, this is called, this Thai version, with a fantastically fat child on it. A small dollop of oyster sauce for richness. And don't faint, some ready ground pepper. I never thought I'd see the day when I use school pepper in my cooking, but this really works. Now some water. Chicken stock concentrate. I never feel bad about using stock that isn't homemade. Chef Tum used chicken powder, and that's the nearest thing I can get to it. And then some ketchup mayonnaise, which is like sweet soy ketchup. And into this bubbling brown liquid go the prawns. Wouldn't we all like to pop out to the local market to pick up some fresh plump prawns and then stroll back down the beach, a large sun hat for me? But if I didn't think these frozen prawns worked here, I certainly wouldn't be cooking with them. Some of the sweetness of the prawns goes into this brown liquor, and those deep spices cling to the prawns. And in go some glass noodles, cooked and drained. And stand back while I toss this together. I've always thought of Thai cooking as sprightly and sharp, but there's something about the darkness and depth of this which is exciting. And now a startling punch of ground cloves and a pinch of ground cinnamon. Now, obviously none of these ingredients is new, but it's how they're used in a particular way that makes them taste so different, and that is the essence of what cooking is. This is Thai seafood as you've never tasted it. Tawny tangle of noodles and these golden prawns. I rather love the shards of cinnamon going through it. Obviously, they're not to be eaten. Final touch, the leaves from the shoots of celery. A friend of mine's father said, if it goes in it, it's got to go on it. I said at the beginning that a stir fry was comforting and familiar, but what this is comforting and unfamiliar. While my fish tacos are inspired by my many visits to taquerias on the west coast of America, rest assured, no frying is involved. These are lovely hake fillets, which I've just sliced lengthwise. And on the hake, I want some paprika for just a gentle kick. And the fragrant earthiness of cumin. Of salt. Sprinkle this over. Rather messily. I'm roasting the fish, so I need a bit of olive oil. I don't want to bombard them with flavour because there's so much going on with the fish taco, and that's the point. But a bit of garlic, always good. And now, wonderful anointing. I roast the fish at a very high temperature for a very short time so the garlic doesn't burn. Right, into the oven. Now, I do know that you wouldn't find corn niblets in a taqueria on the west coast of America, but this is what I do. A can of corn niblets, with salt, chopped red chili, and some chopped coriander, or cilantro as they say over there. Perfect. And a quick decant. Along with the corn, I like to have some mayo spiked with chili sauce on the side, as well as a tangle of red onions that I've steeped in lime juice. Just gorgeous. I have to concentrate so I don't drop them. And now I'm going to add a touch of much denigrated iceberg. It gives such great crunch in the tacos. Teeny bit of coriander. I'll just grab my tortillas and it's taco time. Warm spiced cauliflower and chickpea salad is one of my favourite simple suppers. It relies on those two basic ingredients but transforms them. I want the cauliflower in small florets, or as small as the constraints of my patience will allow. I can't take much credit for this transformation because it's all down to the warm spices and the heat of the oven. It's just a bit of regular olive oil, and now the spices. Just a little cinnamon to evoke the sweetness of a balmy night in Morocco. And I'm going to be a bit heavier handed with the cumin, a spice that's irresistible to me. I want to disperse the spices in the oil to stop them clumping in the oven later. And now, in these go. The oil is just enough to help the spices stick to the cauliflower and to stop the cauliflower from drying out in the oven. Roast cauliflower is a glorious thing. It doesn't hurt either that there's very little washing up involved. Right, Right, this goes into a hot oven, and I mean hot. I don't need to wash this up. I just add the cauliflower's partner in crime, some chickpeas. You can use canned chickpeas too, but the ones in a jar are really lush. And to these, I want the heat of harissa, Moroccan chili paste. I'm dolloping in quite a lot because both the cauliflower and chickpeas can withstand a bit of fierceness. I love the way the tomatoes almost ooze into a dressing in the heat of the oven. Cauliflower has already lost its Victorian pallor and things are really going to brighten up for it now. Love having an implement in each hand. Makes me feel busy, but in an unchallenging way. And this goes back in just so the cauliflower cooks a little more. The chickpeas are already cooked. And the wonderful thing about the oven's heat is that the cauliflower will soften, but it doesn't get soggy. I'm grabbing a hefty amount of parsley because I don't want it as mere decoration, but as the salad leaf itself. I know there's quite a lot here, not that it stopped me before, but this is fantastic cold as well. Packed lunch tomorrow. Salt and some gorgeous ruby jewels of pomegranate. And a final flourish of parsley. I find this sort of cooking just the perfect way to decompress, and I am going to continue my relaxation program with this. Now, a rice bowl is generally a bowl of rice that is topped with an array of vegetable ingredients. I like to keep it rather simpler. I do need short grain brown rice. It has nubbiness and nuttiness, but not that jaw-aching endless chew of long grain brown rice. I also need raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar and some mixed seeds, and I'm off. The rice has had 25 minutes simmering, and now I'm just going to let it stand for a few minutes. Perfect, it's absorbed the liquid. And that's the thing about short grain brown rice. It takes so much less time to cook than long grain brown rice. And now I'm going to get on with my few but choice ingredients. Ginger. As you can see, I like a lot of ginger. But there's something else I should have told you about the rice. Normally, there's a fixed rule with cooking rice. You need 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water. You always have to go by volume. But with the short grain brown rice, I need 1 cup of rice and then 1.5 cups of water. It works perfectly for me. Right, some radishes. I adore the peppery juiciness you get from radishes, as well as the crunch. I tend to quarter these. Sometimes I cut them into 1/8, depending on how much slicing I want to do. Bit of coriander. I want some leaves whole and some just chopped. I make this when I have a girlfriend coming over or if I have a wonderful quiet time to myself. Makes me feel very zen. The rice should be ready now, and all the ingredients can be mixed together. When I say all, not that many. Just scrape it out of my little pink pixie pan. I'm not normally much of a vinegar person, but I find that raw apple cider vinegar has a fresh sourness, really sprightly. Just need a bit. Obviously, it's to taste. Bit of saltiness from soy. I like quite a lot of seeds in this. I've got pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds and sesame seeds. They add crunch and really boost the rice as well. And I want to tumble in my exuberantly coloured radishes and some of the chopped coriander. Let's have a little mix up again. Beautiful. And I love eating ginger in strips, just using a vegetable peeler. You get so much heat this way. Good in stir fries as well. And on top of my bowl of deeply flavoured nubbliness, I like the smooth, cool jade clay of an avocado. Beautiful slices of avocado. I'd only ever come across these rice bowls in California, but now they seem everywhere here, and I can see why. I like to top this with a few delicate coriander leaves. It's both calming and uplifting just to look at, as well as to eat. And I shall try not to rupture this mood of serenity by shoveling this down too rambunctiously, but it's hard not to. There are those who believe that to fiddle in any way with a classic recipe is an act of desecration. Well, it's not a dishonourable stance, but I think it's a flawed one. The classics, in food as in literature, are the very forms that can withstand and indeed spawn a plethora of interpretations. Although I think this slim 60s version of Jane Eyre maybe take it too far. I had to buy it for the cover. Anyway, I can't apologise for taking liberties with the Ceasar salad when the outcome is so pleasurable. Even a riff on the Ceasar salad needs to start with anchovies, or it does as far as I'm concerned. After the fierce saltiness of the anchovies, a hit of garlic. And some olive oil will help these flavours go further. Anchovies, garlic, romaine lettuce, or what we used to call cos, so far so classical. But this is my radical step. It's a question of context. I halve the lettuce and I wilt it in a hot oven. First I'm going to spoon over the anchovy and garlic. I always like roasting in a very hot oven, so luckily this won't take very long. Instead of fiddly little croutons, I go for a large croûte in the form of a slice of toast drizzled with olive oil to be munched alongside. Scent is glorious. See, it's beginning to wilt, and I love these charred pieces. In fact, I have to say, roast or baked lettuces are a wondrous thing. I want some lemon juice and zest. The zest is where all the flavour lies. What you get from the juice is brightness and sharpness. A spritz of this, and I'll pop it back in while I tend to my egg. And I'm frying it. Always a good move. Eat topped with a fried egg are words I always want to hear. And now for a little artistic strewing. I suppose this riff, in a way, is like a little culinary joke, but it is so seriously good.